Joined by Coach Belcher. Coach, coming off a tough loss at Wichita, but a chance today against Drake to get your 9th conference win of the year and remain alone in 3rd place.
Exactly. You're only as good as your next game, you know, and we try to step up to the challenge and take it one game at a time right now. And Drake's our next opponent, and so we gotta put Wichita behind us and really step up and take care of business at home. You know, you talk about getting good road wins, and we've been fortunate enough to steal a couple on the road, and now we got to make sure we take care of our home court.
You look at the way your team was when you started conference play at 4-8, picked to finish in 6th place, and here you are 8-5, fighting to finish in 3rd place all by yourselves. How happy are you with the improvement this group has shown?
Well, you're never happy with anything, you know, with less than 1st place, but from where we were to where we're at right now, you know, you're kind of excited about our opportunity and our future. You know, if we keep building and keep growing as a team, and you know, early on we had a lot of new faces and the chemistry just wasn't quite there, and now the guys are kind of gelling a little bit and understanding what each other's going to do, kind of being able to anticipate the next play and how certain guys play together. They're finally starting to come together and playing as a unit. What do
you enjoy the most about coming to work as a Sycamore assistant basketball coach?
Well, I think especially with this new group of guys, we have so many new faces that there's always something new every day, and you see the guys growing right before your eyes. You know, we've been fortunate for the last couple of years to have some veterans with Odom and Manny, and those guys have been through the system. And now you have a lot of young faces and a lot of new guys, and you know, this being my 4th year here, I've seen a lot of guys grow, you know, from being able to recruit them at the high school level to see them now as juniors and seniors. It's been pretty exciting to see those guys grow.
Having played in the Sweet 16 for a team in this conference, the more time that goes by from that Sweet 16 appearance as a player, does your appreciation just grow for what you were able to accomplish as a player?
Without a doubt. It's hard. It gets harder and harder, the recruiting, you know, especially nowadays. I guess I feel a little older than I actually am, but it just seems like that was so long ago, and kids didn't transfer, and you know, when you made a commitment to a school, that was where you were, like it, you know, whether you started your freshman, sophomore year or not. Now there's so much transition and guys leaving and transformations, and so it's very tough to keep guys together for that long and to really build on something. And you know how the Missouri Valley is. I mean, you have to have guys. It's usually those teams that have upperclassmen that end up winning it all. And so that's what I love about the Valley.
All right, best of luck today against Drake.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, I know Coach Belcher is a guy you're very familiar with, and you've said for years you feel like you have the best staff in the league, and he's a guy that I would assume is a big reason why you feel that way.
You know, and I don't just say that either. They're legit. They're good. The best thing about it, really, for me as a head coach is getting to be around them every day because they're such good guys. You know, I've been around on a couple staffs in my life where I didn't enjoy it every day, you know, and I enjoy being in the good and the bad. These guys are just wonderful people to be around. They're my best friends, you know, I can say that honestly. And in Belch, we got fortunate to get him, you know, and making a change on our staff there. And I had calls from Chris Lowry and Marty Simmons, who he was on both of their staffs, and I respect both of those guys tremendously. And when they say you need to hire this guy, I listened, and really fortunate to have him, and good to have him and Vanessa in town with us. But Belch is going to be a really good head coach someday. That's probably not too far off in the future, but right now we're going to enjoy having him part of our family.
You guys, it's almost like a double whammy. You spend so much time together during the season, and then you throw in the emotion of winning or losing. Just a very intense relationship a coaching staff has.
It is, and these guys are comfortable in telling me what they think. You know, they're not yes men in there, and I'm a type of guy that I respect them and like them, and if they're going to say something, we roll with it. If I think a different way, then we'll probably end up trying both ways. But Belch was a good player in this league. You know, he was a guard on a Southern Illinois team that went to the Sweet 16. He's a competitive guy. He's good with our guys on and off the floor, great at scouting, great at recruiting, and helps me a lot at the offensive end especially.
You would be considered a young head coach by many standards. You might not feel it after 5 years, but your sport lost two wily veterans of Dean Smith and Jerry Tarkanian. Any personal thoughts on those guys?
Well, growing up as son of a coach, my dad was a student of the game, and that's really where I learned the work ethic of stuff. My dad really worked at it, and those were guys that he would watch and try to emulate. And what's so special about Dean Smith, not just the things that he did as a coach and how innovative he was. My dad used to use the four corners, with a guard that he had back in the day, what Dean Smith started basically and implemented. But it's the class act off the court. His guys do the right thing. They act the right way. He loves them. He teaches them how to grow up and be young men, and I take that personally. When we tell a recruit's family to put your trust in us, our job is much bigger than just when you cross the lines out on the floor. I love these guys, and I want to help them. So when they call me 20 years down the road, and we talk about some other things to make sure they're doing well, and then old Tark the Shark, everybody remembers him with the towel.
The towel.
And oh man, he got UNLV going, let's just say, and they did it in a unique way with the style they played and pressure defense, implementing those things. So being a student of the game, it's huge losses, guys that will forever be remembered and put a huge imprint on the game of basketball.
All right, well said. Back to that Wichita game. Wichita is one of those teams that you can see them on tape, and I know you're familiar with them, but to see them in person, they just seem like they physically have some capabilities that not a lot of other teams in the country have.
Well, they recruit at a high level. Let's just say that. They recruit against BCS caliber conferences because they do have a great product. They have all the bells and whistles of everything you need there. They sell out every home game, but that's not it. When they get there, they get better. That staff does a great job. The staff's Iowa guys, they're good friends of mine, and Coach Marshall, obviously, so they're doing the stuff the right way. And it's just it's a little different than some of the other places in the league. And I do respect them a lot. Obviously, I want them to be our rival, and I want to kick their tail every time we play them. But with the guards and the backcourt that they've had, to be on this run is really unheard of. But those three are as good as it gets, and Van Fleet, Baker, those two are probably NBA guys. And then Takale Cotton is as good a defender as there is in the league and has really stepped up his offensive game. So they don't beat themselves. There's a reason why UNI and Wichita are where they're at right now. It's those veterans that have been around, senior leadership, guys that have won a lot of games. It's just two really good basketball teams.
All right, we'll come back with more of the Sycamore Basketball Show after this timeout.